My name is Julie Edwards, and I'm the Medical Director of Integrated Care at a certified community behavioral health clinic that provides care and support to people living with schizophrenia. I'm partnering with Bristol Myers Squibb on its Live Your Possible campaign to help empower people with schizophrenia to live their possible. I think anyone, if they look around in their family, their community, most people know someone who struggled with a significant mental illness or a substance use disorder or some behavioral health problem. And watching people I love go through that gave me some pretty specific motivation to want to make healthcare an easier place for them to navigate. And that's why we do what we do. That's why we go into this field, is to see the changes in people's lives and to see them be able to live their possible, to figure out what their hopes and dreams are and get closer to that and how we can support them in that.
Hey, great to see you.
Good to be here.
Come on in.
All right.
It's so important that people struggling with symptoms of schizophrenia not be facing this alone and feel like they are surrounded by a team that cares about them and can support them when it gets hard. As a CCBHC, we offer all the traditional treatment services that people probably normally think of, like therapy, medication management with a nurse practitioner, a psychiatrist, groups. However, we're also equipped to provide a lot of extra things that historically hasn't always been included in treatment. And so that means that whatever the client's needing or ready for at that point, we can kind of be a little bit of a Swiss Army knife and figure out how we can match treatment to their needs. When people living with schizophrenia come to us as a CCBHC, they might be at various stages of their journey. They might have just gotten a diagnosis of schizophrenia, or they might have been through 40 years of having this diagnosis and living with it and having various struggles. When they come to us, we start with really looking at where are they right now, where do they want to be, and then what's getting in the way of them getting there.
Where is he at with housing right now? Does he have a safe place to stay? Is he looking for somewhere to move to?
How's he doing with food security?
Whatever problem you have, whatever you want to talk about, you're in the right place. We can help you with that. In thinking about the three-legged stool approach to health, we provide the care for that behavioral health care, that's one leg of the stool, and then we have the physical well-being, that's another leg of the stool, and then we have the social determinants of health. The social determinants of health are all the non-medical things that affect a person's well-being and ability to achieve all their hopes and dreams. Some examples of social determinants of health might be access to stable housing, or having enough food, or having employment, social connections, and a strong community support system. And so part of the CCBHC approach is taking into consideration how can we support people in getting their social determinants of health in order so that then they can move on to the treatment things that they need. I think living your possible, to me, really represents whatever that person has as their hopes and dreams, whatever they thought about when they were little that they wanted to grow up to be. How can we help them get as close to that as possible? One example that comes to mind is a client that we had that was wanting to engage in treatment, but was really struggling getting here because housing and transportations were big issues for him. The biggest thing for him was that he didn't have an ID. And the ID was the thing he needed in order to sign up for healthcare, housing, food stamps, all the things he needed. And so we set up a plan. And we had him come into the office, sit down with the case manager, print out all the forms that he needed off the Social Security state website, fill out the paperwork with him. So once he had stable housing, he was really able to thrive in a lot of other areas and move on from the housing need to think about what's next for him. Now, in this case, he wanted to seek some part-time employment. And so we were able to get him dressed up in a suit. So he shows up for this job interview now in a suit with a resume, ready to roll, and he was able to secure part-time employment. And he's doing fantastically, getting to know his coworkers, so that's social support he's got now. He's still coming to treatment. So that's a really lovely success story. That's the stuff that lights me up. I mean, that's why we do this work, is so we can see successes like that.